Welcome back to suburban Chicago, everybody. It's the Major Indoor Soccer League Game of the Week live from the Sears Center Arena in Hoffman Estates, Illinois. Ken Tomash and Brian Lofton with you. Let's look at a look at tonight's starting lineups for the defending champion Philadelphia Kixx and the homestanding Chicago Storm. First for Chicago, Jeff Ritchie in the nets, Branko Savic and Fabinho on the back line, Matthew Stewart in the middle along with Mariano Bolela, Carlos Farias, Chile up front. Meanwhile, player coach Don Diambra of the Philadelphia Kixx will have himself in the lineup, but he'll also have one of the all-time great keepers in the net behind him in Peter Pappas, who threw a shutout on the Baltimore Blast just a couple of weeks ago. He'll have Pat Morris and Wendell Regis in front of him on defense to start things off. Tom Myers in the midfield, and Diambra up front along with Angel Revillo. There you take a look at that lineup. Not a very high-scoring one, but a team that can beat you. And as we mentioned, after that 2-7 start, Brian Lofton, they've really turned it on of late and look like the team that won the title a year ago.
Well, I'd have to agree with you there, Ken. They had 6 players that they changed this year from the championship team from a year ago, as we talked about with Pete Pappas in the open. It took some time for them to understand their roles. It appears that they've got that under their belt here, and it should make for a good game.
Here we go. Don Diambra kicks off in the Philadelphia Kixx in white, attacking from right to left. Here in the first quarter of play from the Sears Center in suburban Chicago, it's Carlos Farias. Chile with a big left-footed blast off the glass, and Pat Morris taps it back to Peter Pappas. He is so confident with the ball at his feet, you cannot rattle him. Farias has it back, though, at the yellow line. Takes another left-footed shot. That one is blocked by Tom Myers. Rested tonight. Pappas from his own yellow line. They'll loft it over, trying to get it over that defensive line, but Armstrong is there. Morris on him. And Will Kleitson will play it back here to Fabinho. Fabinho now to Bennett. Bolela, the Storm captain. And Pat Morris just fronts him. Passes it to Bennett. He'll turn and fire and score! And the Storm take the 2-0 lead.
Well, I think we'll see here a nice shot by Ian Bennett, playing target for the Chicago Storm right now. Probably more of a second forward with his speed. But one of the younger players in the league, has only been in the indoor game now for about a month, but has shown that one quality that you can't teach, Ken, and that's the ability to get to the goal and to make things happen. We'll see if we get the replay back here to see the nice ball that comes in from Bolela, and we'll see that throughout the night with his patience on the ball. Plays the ball through. Bennett makes a nice turn. Not much Pappas can do there. That's a pretty good shot right in the corner there, Ken.
Bennett's 4th goal in just his 7th game. You'd have to say he's a quick study, Brian.
Oh, absolutely. He's got a nose for the goal. That's just something you can't teach, and I think he's going to have a very...
42 seconds left in the Chicago power play. The left-footed shot saved by Pappas. Armstrong just so smooth and turning and hitting with that left peg, but Pappas saw it all the way.
Yeah, Donatelli did a good job of making that predictable for Pappas by positioning his body.
Quick one touch by Farias. They'll slide it back up. You see the ball movement. Armstrong will try it again. It's a kick save by Pappas. And also went off the face of his defender, Wendell Regis. 16 seconds left in the Storm power play. Need a couple of more shots. Matthew Stewart. He's got 4 power play goals, and now he's got 5. Curled that one in past Pappas, and it's 4-0 Chicago.
A very nice finish by Stewart. But that's exactly what they didn't do early in the power play. They did as it went on here, Ken. They kept possession of the ball. They made the defenders continue to turn, and when the ball goes deep, they have to turn and face their own goal. It makes it very difficult for them to block all the lanes. Stewart, instead of passing, sees the opportunity to shoot and doesn't use the laces, places it with the inside of the foot in the top corner.
Matthew Stewart, look at this. His 12th goal of the year. He just settled it and fired it into the corner.
I think he's got the top corner there. Calling a shot.
That's the upper 90. Well done by Matthew Stewart, who missed the last nationally televised game here. He was out because of a red card, the first of his career. But he certainly had Peter Pappas seeing red on that one as he curled it nicely. Well, we're just getting started here in Chicago. 7:27 left in the first quarter of the Major Indoor Soccer League Game of the Week, and the Storm lead the Kixx 4-0. Brian and I'll be back with more first quarter action here on Fox Soccer Channel right after this time. Goals are 2-point goals, except for goals scored from outside that 45-foot arc. Ian Bennett's the first goal scored tonight. His goal was a 2-pointer. Anything scored outside the 45-foot white arc that you'll see right there behind him is a 3-point goal. So the Kixx down 4, but they can make up that deficit in a hurry. Here's Ritchie now, bouncing it through the midfield. John Ball is there, but he can't get past his man, and They're going to call the obstruction there on Jonathan Steele.
But you see the contrasting styles, Ken.
Right.
Chicago constantly playing the ball through the midfield, looking to link possession there. And then again, when we watch Philadelphia play, using Pete Pappas more, he makes sure he gets across the yellow line to give himself a little different option to play the ball deeper. And we'll see that throughout the game. That's definitely the tactics of each team.
Saw Steve Morris there, the Storm head coach. Here's John Ball now off his chest, toe poke, and he scores! 6-0 Chicago.
Well, Ken, we're going to see a beautiful goal here, taken well on the chest by John Ball and driven in. Just as we talk about how they like to play through the midfield, they go and they play a ball over the top. It feels like the last time we were here. They're doing opposite now, what we talk about. But there it is. Branko Savic, nice ball forward. Jonathan Steele doesn't stay with ball. That's a world-class trap on the chest there and a great finish. You can see the look on Pete's face. He's wondering what happened there. Why don't we stay with our runners?
And John Ball is a guy who 3 years ago had a career year for Cleveland. He struggled a little bit this season, but maybe that gets him off the schneid. It was really the kind of classic goal that he's known for.
Well, for him, it's getting his legs going and running. He's had a bit of a hamstring injury this season, which I think has limited his running and slashing through the box. Again, that was an example of playing the ball, running. Good things happen when you get close to the goal. Great finish, though. Great finish.
Great ball over the top by Branko Savic, a defender who's got good offensive skills, as that ball is played by Pappas over the wall. It'll be a kick in for Chicago right there. We got 6:16 to go in the first quarter, and it's been all Chicago. 3 goals, 6 points. Ritchie now slides it along the carpet, and Farias just gave it away to D'Amber in the midfield. Here's Castellanos. D'Amber now will chase it down in the corner. Seems like it's been a long time since Philadelphia had possession in Chicago's end.
What Philadelphia needs to do is to stay composed now. They don't need to rush. It's still early in the game. Play their game. This is good. Get the ball to Pete. He'll control it. Act as the quarterback for the team here. Find a little bit of a rhythm. And they're still looking. They don't quite have their shape yet, Ken.
2 weeks ago, Philadelphia fell behind in Milwaukee, but battled back and barely lost that game, 12-10. They had chances late, hit the post, and they are not going to give up. Fabinho now, off the wall to Kleitzen. D'Amber on him. We'll go back and start it all over again. 5:17 to go in the first quarter. Nobody home for Chicago. Nigel Marple says, I'll take that. Thank you very much.
Smart play by Marples to bring it back. His whole team was changing here. They can set it up. Chicago's been stuck on a little bit here now, and they got to make sure they keep working.
Tom Myers down in the corner to John Barry Newsom. Newsom draws double coverage, smacked off the wall, and Ritchie is there. Finds an open Stewart along the near side. He'll change directions. Armstrong overran that one, and Tom Myers took it away. But he's one against the world here. So he'll back it back out and send it back to Drew Cobb. Marples now on the other side of the floor.
Chicago's doing a good job right now of getting up on the defenders in the back to not allow them to play that long ball. And that's what's kind of throwing off the rhythm right now with the kicks.
Pappas again will scoop it forward, looking for Myers, and Myers ran into the defender and fell down.
It was a nice ball by Pappas there.
Yeah, it was. Now it's Chicago with a quick ball movement, and they spring Stewart. Stewart's on the run. Pappas out. Stewart beats him. His second goal of the quarter, and Chicago is rolling.
Well, here we see when we talked about Chicago stepping up on the defenders, not allowing Philadelphia to play the ball deep. Pappas cannot play it in the air over 2 lines, which forces him to play that short ball. Chicago takes advantage of that with a quick counterattack. Stewart here, and we'll see. I think he's got that top corner picked out. It's the same one, Ken.
His lucky 13th goal of the campaign.
When we talked to Pete at the beginning of the game, he talked about that the game they had the shutout and everybody working to get behind the ball. And what we've seen here are twice now examples where runners they didn't stay with their runners, and because of that, numerical advantages were created on the opposite.
Savic to Farias. Oh, nice bounce. Yeah. Ball sent high in the air. 50-50 ball here. Myers wins it. Savic heads it down.
Farias is a bit unlucky that Armstrong ran into the space behind him.
Yeah. Pappas now. Plays it up. 5 seconds to go in the quarter. Myers The 1-2 with Regis. Will he get anything off before the quarter ends? No. And that one went in the net, but it will not count. And Steve Morris, well, he should be happier than that. He's up 8-0. He'll be teaching here. 15 minutes in the books at the Sears Center Arena in Chicago. And the Storm leads the Kixx 8-0 in the Major Indoor Soccer League Game of the Week here on Fox Soccer Channel. Brian Lofton and I'll be right back with second quarter action after the break. It's fast, it's fun, it's the MISL, and it's coming back. And Armstrong heads toward the goal. Left-footed shot saved by Pappas. Now in transition, here's John Barry Newsom of the Kixx. 2v2 here. Left-footed shot scores, and Philadelphia gets on the board. It's John Barry Newsom making it 8-2.
Well, there was a bit of what we saw the last time when Chicago was on television here. They lose their balance a little bit. Newsom rolling the ball, taking his time, and has all the goals we've seen tonight. Perfect shot into the corner. And that's just what Philadelphia needed.
John Barry Newsom was the league's Rookie of the Year when he came into the league a few years ago, but that was just his 4th goal of the campaign. It'll be John Barry Newsom bobblehead night tomorrow night at the Spectrum as the Kixx are back home to face Baltimore. So if you're in the Philly area, get out to the game and get a John Barry Newsom bobblehead.
It's like the injured player on the field for Chicago is Will Kleitzen.
Being worked on down at the other end as Philadelphia bench plot strategy, and now they've got a goal on the board. They're down 8-2 and still got 12 and a half minutes to go. To Randy and Tiffany on Blessed Event. And here, the kids in yellow are on the move. Ian Bennett to Rosenband. His shot is saved by Pappas. Intercepted there by Bolela. What will he do? Rosenband will score. That's what he'll do. Andy Rosenband. And Chicago answers.
And not surprisingly, Mariano Bolela involved in that again. Gets the ball, composure, rolls the ball into the corner, create the defense again to have to turn and face their own goal. Good runs in the box by Rosenband as well as Bennett on that. And Rosenband will take that goal. Good ball back. Bennett with a nice turn. And Rosenband just staying busy in the box. You see there Steele was cheating a little bit out the direction. I think he thought that first ball to Bennett was going to get through.
3rd goal of the year for the kid from Northwest Indiana. Always has a crowd of family and friends on hand.
When you get goals from Rosenband, if you're Chicago, that's a good thing. He does a lot of the dirty work, you know, the energy, the working in the midfield, a lot of the defensive work. So if he's able to get some goals, that's a good sign for them.
Right. When he started his career, he could score some goals, but since then, his numbers have been down, but I think he's actually become a much better player. Hardly anybody beats him to a ball in the midfield, and he just works. He's rewarded there. 5:40 to go in the half as Savic has to Rosenband. Flipped up to Ian Bennett. To Rosenband. In the corner. Kopp on him, and Kopp does a nice job of standing up and win that ball, but only for an instant. Laid off to Savic, and he scores. Branko Savic from Andy Rosenband. 12-2 Chicago.
Well, nice job of flashing in front by Bennett. He really sets this play up by his movement as the target. Gets the ball out to Rosenband, and Savic did a good job of pinching the zone again. He wins the ball back. I think we'll see it picked up there. Nice ball into Rosenband. Good patience by Rosenband to bring the ball back. And again, Pete Pappas, nothing he can do in that situation. Again, an example of players not staying with their runners.
He had to come out on that play, and Savic, who had an assist earlier, now has a goal. And Chicago's lead is 10 points at 12-2. The action is fast and furious here in Chicago, and as the Storm talk things over, we'll take a break. Chicago just trying to play keep away here. Oh, played poorly by Ritchie, and he was bailed out by Ball, but only for an instant. Here's Tony Donatelli. He played that one poorly. Ball tried to clear it. Morris. Here's Ball. Comes off the wall in front, near miss by Myers. 5 seconds to go in the half. DeAmber trying to muscle his way in on Armstrong. 2 seconds. Sent across. Morris with a shot. and went off Donatelli, and the horn sounds. So Philadelphia finishes with a flourish, but they can't get the ball past that man, Jeff Ritchie. Only once in the first half of play were they able to dent the net there. So Ritchie and Fabinho and their mates head off into the locker room. Here's Stephen Armstrong. That big shot there. Peter Pappas was busy early. John Barry Newsom with the only Kixx goal. We've reached halftime here at the Sears Center Arena in suburban Chicago as the Storm lead the Kixx 12-2 after 30 minutes of play. Before the game continues, we got lots to bring in halftime. Interviews of the week, and the Storm leads the Philadelphia Kixx 12-2, and Matthew Stewart, who had 2 big goals in that first quarter, is with us now. Matt, talk about the energy that you guys displayed during that first quarter. It's a really quick start, a dream start for you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the first thing Coach said coming into this game was, we got to have our energy up. Last few games, we've done pretty well, but we've come out kind of slow, so this was a good start for us.
Well, Matthew, now that you got out to the fast start, what do you think you're going to talk about at halftime in regards to really sustaining the type of pressure defensively and then really the possession that you've had throughout?
Right. I think Coach is going to go back to our defense stepping up to the Philadelphia's defensive half and our offensive half. I mean, they're doing a great job the first half of stepping up and winning those 50-50 balls to keep us on our offensive side. So I think Coach will probably talk more about that and say keep that up.
Well, Matthew, 3 times now in the last 4 games, you guys have hit double digits. Have you really found the secret to putting the ball in the back of the net? You guys are turning it on.
And that's another thing Coach has been talking about, getting some goals, finishing our chances. And obviously the first half, we put our chances away, and that's huge. You got to put your chances away.
Well, your 2 in the first quarter were really pretty. Can you talk about those?
Thank you. That's my spot on the power play right there in the corner, and it's kind of hard to squeeze those by, but a lot of times the keepers are predicting you're going to pop that back out to someone running onto it, and I've been scoring those. I think I got like 5 of those on the power play now, so it's just been working for me down there.
All right, Matt. Good luck. Thanks for joining us. Good luck in the second
Absolutely.
half. All right, we'll be back with more at halftime. We'll take a look around the league. We'll have scores. We'll have highlights for you. It's all coming up. We're at the half on the Major Indoor Soccer League Game of the Week from Chicago. Ken Tomash and Brian Lofton with you, and the Storm lead the Kixx 12-2. Stay with us. More coming up next on Fox. Leading Philadelphia 12-2. It's halftime on the MISL Game of the Week here on Fox Soccer Channel. I'm Ken Tomash. He's Brian Lofton. We told you when the weather gets really, really cold is when the action really heats up. Real interesting week in the league, Brian.
Oh, absolutely it is. You've seen teams that started off slowly, starting to climb their way up the top of the tables, and the teams are at the top kind of sliding back a little bit.
Well, let's take a look at some highlights from this week in the MISL. The Milwaukee Wave is in their familiar spot, back on top of the league standings. They traveled to Stockton, California last week. The Cougars started strong. Enrique Tovar rolls that one past Nick Vorberg. California won just 7 games last season, but they're much improved this year already with 7 wins. Here the second and third effort, and it rolls over the line. Antonio Sutton with the goal there. But the Wave came rolling back. Greg Howes capped a phenomenal 2-game stretch that saw him score 7 goals in 2 games, 4 against Monterey Thursday night, 3 more against the Cougars on Sunday. California not giving up there. They do get the goal as a rebound goes past Vorberg, and then it's ripped home there. And the Wave are dancing. California kept this one close, but Greg Howes with a hat trick, and they win it 17-9, and they're on top of the MISL standings after that big win in California. Now, a week ago in Detroit, in their second year, they've been dancing near the top of the league all season long, and they led 2-0 late in the first before Mariano Bolela drilled the left-footed free kick. Nicely done off the set piece. Danny Waltman, sorry about that, mate. Second quarter, Ryan Mack plays the wall and beats Jim Larkin 4-2 at the half. Speaking of the wall, Waltman was a wall, making the save there. Detroit's young man named goalkeeper of the week in the MISL. Kit Saladopoulos, though, broke him in a tight game with a goal late in the third and one early in the fourth. The former Chicago Power player made it 8-2. It was 10-2 at one point. That one beats Larkin before Matthew Stewart scored here. Mariano Bolela's assist on this one was the 125th of his career in the league. Great goal by Stewart. But then Jonathan Greenfield capped the scoring for Detroit with this one. 12-4 the final a week ago in Detroit. We may see these two teams down the road. That was, as we mentioned, the first road loss of the year for Chicago, as Detroit rolls on there behind 2 goals from Jamar Beasley, last year's league MVP, and 2 more from Kit Celadopoulos. Also in the league last week in a game you saw right here on Fox Soccer Channel, the Ironmen beat the Blast at home 13-12 on a last-second goal by Kevin Sloan, who may take over as their coach as early as this week. And these Kicks sent the Sharks to their 16th straight defeat with a 20-8 win. But as we saw earlier, the Sharks had a lead tonight against California, so maybe that victory that has been ever elusive for the Sharks this year will be coming tonight. We'll be back with more. It's halftime here at the Sears Center in suburban Chicago. The homestanding Storm leading the Philadelphia Kixx 12-2 in the Major Indoor Soccer League Game of the Week, live and exclusively on Fox. Dream start for Chicago here in the MISL Game of the Week in Chicago. The Storm leads the Philadelphia Kixx 12-2 at halftime. Ken Tomash and Brian Lofton with you. Brian, that was a great first quarter for Chicago, and that really set the tone for the whole first half.
Well, it did, and we talked about at the beginning of the game that Chicago needed to make sure they came out quickly, that they kept the pressure on, and they've done a good job of executing their game plan thus far.
Let's take a look at the first half highlights. They were plentiful, especially in that first quarter, as Chicago raced out to an 8-0 lead. Ian Bennett with the first goal.
A good turn by Bennett, finds the far post there. Mariano Villela setting that one up. Ball down in the corner on the power play. Stewart takes the first touch clean, as he says, puts it in the top corner. where Mama keeps the cookies, he says.
Upper 90. Stewart again on the run. Buries it past Peter Pappas. John Barry Newsom then with the left footer to get Philadelphia on the board. But after Philly had some momentum, Chicago grabbed it right back. Andy Rosenband puts that one home with authority. Branko Savic makes it 12-2 there. And that's where we stand at the moment, 12-2. So everything's firing on all cylinders for Chicago. Philadelphia now, if you're the Kicks, what do you do?
Well, I think if you're the Kicks, you have to look at changing your tactics just a little bit. They need to look at getting the ball, Ken, and getting it into the center of the field so they can turn and attack that way. Chicago's doing a great job of getting up early on their defenders, not allowing them to play the long ball into the corner. And now with the possibility of Pappas being out, they've got to make sure they find some other feet in the midfield to help take the pressure off the new young goalkeeper.
We talked about how well the Kicks have been playing of late after that horrendous 2-7 start to the season. They come in here, you don't get back into a league race after starting 2-7 unless you have some fortitude and determination. They're going to have to display that here in the second half because they're 10 points down, which can be made up in a hurry in indoor soccer.
Well, it certainly can. And Newsom has played well. He's probably been the star so far for Philadelphia moving forward. Jonathan Steele, as we talked about, is another player that we need to see get the ball in more dangerous positions and take opportunities when they're there. Don Diambra, if he gets in a good position, we know that he can finish. So it's just a matter of staying with the plan, building, getting the ball through the midfield so they can get some possession in the defensive third.
You talk about possession. None of those guys don't make a difference if Chicago has the ball. If Philadelphia cannot get the ball, which Chicago's done a great job of keeping it, none of those guys, they're all neutralized.
Well, and that's going to be the difficult part now because Chicago doesn't need to score. So they're going to hold on to the ball. And as they hold on to the ball, they're going to draw Philadelphia out. And when they do that, it allows them to pick them through the midfield, which is what they wanted to do to begin with. So it's a difficult climb back here for Philadelphia, but they certainly have the ability to do it.
We've seen the Storm struggle at home. We mentioned just 4-4 here at the Sears Center. They were 5-1 on the road coming in. They sure look comfortable in front of the home folks tonight.
Well, they do, and I know that's what Coach Morris really wanted to have happen. They have not played well here at home. They've come out strong, but the key is that we talked about, I think, in the first quarter, if we need to make sure that in the third and the fourth quarter that they keep the same intensity that they had early.
Don Diambra is with us now as you look at the first half goal scorers. And Don, obviously the first question is, how is Peter Pappas, and will we see him return to the net?
His eye got a little banged up. He has a little blurred vision, so hopefully that subsides and he can get back into the game.
Until then, you've got the youngster Hovaker. What can you tell us about him?
Nick's, he's inexperienced, but he's got potential. He's young, got quick hands. He's pretty good with his feet, so today it's a good opportunity for him to get out there and get some minutes in the game.
Hey, Don, it looks like Chicago's done a good job of pressuring your defenders and not allowing them to play the long ball into the corner to the targets. What did you talk about at halftime about changing that up and maybe creating some space for them?
Yeah, they're putting a lot of good, really good pressure on the ball. They are making it difficult to find our targets. We're just talking about movement, creating space, having rotations around. I think a lot of our problem was allowing them to get in behind us as well defensively. So we were flat defensively and we couldn't get any rhythm offensively. So to Chicago's credit, they did a good job. But we got to respond, and I challenge the players in the locker room.
All right, Don, we'll see if they respond to the challenge. Thanks so much for being with us. Good luck in the second half. There you see young Nick Hovaker II, who came in late in that first half when Peter Pappas left with the eye injury. Saved the only shot that he faced. And so he's got I don't know, a 10-point deficit in front of him, but he doesn't look like he's nervous.
No, he looks very calm, and he looked good with the ball at his feet the first time he had it here. And we'll see how he does as we carry on here in the second half.
All right, so we'll take a look now as the second half is just about set to kick off here at the Sears Center in Chicago, with the Storm leading the Philadelphia Kixx by a score of 12-2. And so the Kixx turn things around now, and Don D'Ambro took the headset off, ran right over there to midfield, and now kicks off that Puma red ball. And we are underway in the 13 to go, third quarter. Neither team able to score here in the opening moments of the second half. Wendell Regis with a left footer, and just as you say that, Regis gets Philadelphia on the board and cuts it to 12-4.
Well, good shot by Wendell Regis. Recognized the situation, took the ball in the center, and hits a nice left-footed shot. We'll see this here, cuts it in. I think kind of surprised that he found himself so wide open. Chicago never did get organized after the man down situation. Regis, good finish.
Oh, Reg, that's his third of the season. And like you mentioned, Philadelphia couldn't get anything done with the man advantage, but when it got back to 5-on-5 in front of the keepers, Regis scores, 5:52 the time, 12-4. Susi trying to spin, he draws the double. Regis outside the three-point line. Put down in front. Morris is there and he misses. Rich Grady says it went off a Chicago player, so it's going to be a corner kick for Philadelphia. Down low with 11 seconds to go in the quarter. Morris just keeps working at it, doesn't he?
He certainly does, and this quarter really has gone to Philadelphia, and it's unfortunate for them they haven't got more goals out of it, because they've had good possession, good pressure here. Wendell Regis across there. Rivera was lucky not to put that in his own net.
Yep. Or get a handball as he fell on it. So Aaron Susi to trigger the corner from the far dot. Ritchie organizing his defense. They set it up in front. The shot goes off the wall by D'Ambra. His second shot is blocked before it goes an inch. And Chicago clears it. Takes a freaky bounce and springs John Ball. Ball 1v1 on Hovaker. Comes out and the ball across the line. No, they wave it off. It did not cross the line. He did get the shot off. But this isn't basketball. It has to cross the entire line. Rich Grady right there in the spot to make the good call. John Ball denied the goal, but his team has an 8-point lead after 3 quarters of play at the Sears Center Arena. Suburban Chicago, the Storm leads the Kixx 12-4 on the Major Indoor Soccer League Game of the Week here on Fox Soccer. That one, I want somebody to show for him, or he's just going to have to put it down and play it himself, which he does.
Tonight's game is broadcasted live on
Goes
Fox Soccer.
off the head of Tony Donatelli.
Broadcast will be at 10 o'clock tonight. So if you want to be a part of the action, if you want to hear your voice,
Can Philly cut into this lead? With shots like that, they sure can. John Barry Newsom with his second goal of the night, and it is 12-6 now.
Well, there you see it, some more good possession by Philadelphia. Chicago not committed to defend like they did in the first half. And Newsom, who was dangerous in the first half, now gets another goal here in the second.
Watch this. He cuts it to the right peg, and sends it to the far post.
And now both goals that we've seen in the second half by Philadelphia, Chicago players pushing Philadelphia players into the center of the field. And you can see there from Farias and a few of the other Storm players, not 5 behind the ball. Good finish by Newsom.
Maybe he and Peter Pappas, 2 veterans of this Kixx team, and 2 guys you'll want to go see tomorrow night if you're in the Philadelphia area. John Barry Newsom bobblehead night at the Spectrum as Baltimore comes calling. Susi, too strong on the first touch. Farias plays it back to Ritchie. Stewart now. Slips through 2 defenders. Don D'Ambra goes down, clutching his left ankle. Stewart there, Bennett there, second goal of the game.
Or goal by Bennett. It looks like Don D'Ambra actually collided with one of his own players there in the midfield. But we'll see the ball get here into the midfield. Stewart makes a nice turn, takes the ball wide.
And unfortunate for Philadelphia because D'Ambra was down, but the attack continued, and Ian Bennett scored his second goal of the night.
And again, it's Bennett getting in the box. That's the second or third time, actually, we've seen him do that tonight. Find himself in a good spot. Just because he's there, gives himself an opportunity.
He roofed it.
You see the frustration on Morris. They got outnumbered because of the injury at D'Ambra here at the field. And good to see him up on his feet. But here's one of the up-and-coming stars here in the league, Ian Bennett.
Yep.
5 goals in his first 7 games. Saw very limited action in his first 3 games. And Chicago needed that, though, Ken. Maybe this will change the momentum back in their favor, which they clearly had in the first half.
Bennett's second of the game comes to the 9:02 mark. Gives him a little bit more of a cushion. 14 to found it.
Susie said he had it all the way. It looks like that.
Again, he is the goalkeeper as well. He can't use his hands in that area. Doesn't have gloves on, though, which can make things tricky. He'll send this one down low. Richie is there. He trips up his own man, Savic. A loose ball in front. Newsom goes down. And I don't think they're going to have, we must have a penalty kick here because Newsom went down. The blue card came out.
Well, that's an interesting call there, and called by the trailing official. The near official didn't see a foul at all.
Richie took his own man out, Savic, but then Newsom goes down. Look, the ball is just sitting there. Bolela is there. Newsom comes in, and Richie takes him out. Now, if they call a foul on Bolela, it seems as though Richie was the guy. Goalkeepers have to serve their own penalties in this league. And it looks like Richie's the one heading off, which means Jim Larkin has to come in off the bench cold to face a penalty kick.
Which is always your dream.
Yeah, exactly.
To sit there the entire game and come in and face this.
Well, if there's one guy that you'd want to be able to do that role, it is this guy, Jim Larkin, the veteran.
Well, and Pat Morris will not be placing this. He's going to hit this hard. That you can be assured of.
Morris with a chance. Cut into the lead, the penalty kick. Left footer saved by Larkin.
But you're going to see another kick here, and that's the right call. Larkin took 2 steps off the goal line before that ball was kicked.
He's not pleased with that, but
not a call you see made very often, but the correct call there by Kelly Ross.
Look, yeah, as Larkin is 2 steps off. He'll get warned for that, and they'll retake the kick. High drama in Chicago. On the MISL Game of the Week, Pat Morris with a chance here to make it 14-8, and he does. .12:06 the time, so in officially 2 seconds of play, Larkin gives up 2 goals, and that'll hurt the old points against average, but at this moment is more concerned about is the lead is now 6.
Well, he just about had that too. Boy, yeah, he guessed that correctly. That's probably why he's so frustrated there.
That's Morris's 9th goal of the year. Comes on the penalty, and it's 14-8.
Now, interestingly, here Philadelphia is going to keep the 6th attacker in. Sometimes you like to put your goalkeeper back out until you get possession of the ball.
No, they know they still need 3 goals to tie or 2 3-pointers. Shot ball, a little gamesmanship there. Fabinho now knocks it long, and they'll let Susi there. Susi had a little bit of an adventure. They'll throw it to Donatelli. Flicked on. Savic is there. Plays it high in the air. Don Diambra is back out there after being shaken up on Chicago's last goal.
And now Chicago has their 6th attacker defensive team on. You'll see they extend a lot further here.
Diambra to Newsom.
And the key is they've got to get the ball deep.
2:24 to go in the game. Chicago up by 6. There are a couple of Kixx fans here, hoping that their team can get one here. Diambra took 1 touch too many, and it goes off Stewart and out. I believe it's going to be a corner kick for Philadelphia. If they're going to take time, they're going to have to take 3s.
Groups of 10 to 10,000 for any travel distance. Call first student for storm game.
See Pat Morris, that was his 9th goal of the year, the penalty kick. Made it 14-8. He's going to be buzzing around here, trying to get a loose ball to knock home. Ravillo sends it to him. Shot saved by Richie.
Good ball by Ravillo.
Yeah, Morris was right there. Sent long now. Ball is there. Susi is there. Diambra gets to it. Under 2 minutes to go now. 6th attacker on for Philadelphia. They spring on Angel Ravillo. Pat Morris is calling for it, but he's way deep. Donatelli. Cross to Ravillo. Chicago's content to let them do this. sent in front. Morris was there. D'Ambra is there. Takes a touch, and his shot is off the mark. It'll be cleared by Armstrong.
But a good job by Revio of getting down into the corner, playing the ball off the boards. If you can't get it deep to the player, then it's a good idea to take them one-on-one on the wing.
Ritchie out of his area to play it over to the side. Minute 8 to play of the game.
And this could do it here.
Yep, John Ball heading in on the 6th attacker. The three-pointer just missed. Did Susie get a piece of that?
He got a skate save there. Nice play by Susie.
Under a minute to go. Looks like the outcome no longer in doubt as Susie takes a look at the time remaining. It's 52 seconds, and he calls timeout.
Philadelphia taking that to allow themselves to catch their breath for one last push.
Before he sends it long. Sent long. 50-50 ball there. Ball again with a shot. And look at Susie with the save and the turnaround.
Sassy. Hey fans,
Sent back to Pat Morris. 28 ticks left. Long to Donatelli. Headed there. Myers is there. Oh, had that one come off the wall back into the face. Savage now. 16 seconds left in the game.
On your feet, the final 15, the fans 15.
Back to Susie. Susie will bomb one from long range, and Savage clears it. Morris with a shot blocked by Stewart. It's going to bounce the length of the floor, and that will do it. The Chicago Storm break out to an 8-0 lead early, and then hold on for a 14-8 victory over the Philadelphia Kixx on the MISL Game of the Week, and the two coaches exchange handshakes. And the folks here at the Sears Center Arena thrilled to see their team win for the 5th time in 9 tries at home. Peter Pappas finished the game on the bench, but his understudy, Nick Hobecker, did quite the outstanding job in the nets in relief.
Well, he really did, and I'll tell you, the whole team did. Philadelphia came out possessed in the third quarter. Unfortunate not to get a couple more goals. Had they, this game would have been very close going into the fourth quarter, and then it would have been anybody's game.
So a determined effort by a Kixx squad that won the MISL title a year ago and is struggling at mid-table here as we reach the midway point, but they showed some signs tonight of being a team that's never going to give up, and when you've got that guy in the nets, you always have a chance to win. And even tonight, without him in the nets, they had a chance to win it in the second half, just not quite enough to get over a determined Chicago Storm team.
Oh, that's for sure, Ken. And impressed with what Philadelphia did. And as Don D'Ambra talked about halftime, that, he asked them to man up, step up and play, and they did that. We saw Jonathan Steele get more engaged in the game, which we thought we didn't see a lot of him in the first half. Again, though, that lead was a little too much for them to be able to overcome. You have to expend a lot of energy to do those things as they did in the third quarter.
Good effort by that guy, Jeff Ritchie, as he was able to keep the ball out of the net for the most part tonight. And his mates in front of him got off to that huge start. It was 8-0. They had 12 points by halftime, and so they were really able to coast from that point. It wasn't without its moments there in that second half, but Steve Morris and company have to be pleased with gutting it out and getting the victory.
Well, they do. I mean, they finished the game, which is what they wanted to do. They've let so many teams back in here at home, so I think it was important for them to get the victory. Again, the third quarter, every team is good enough to make a run in this league. Philadelphia gave it their best effort. Unfortunate for them, they weren't able to get a couple more goals in that third quarter.
Well, now we've reached the halfway point for every team in the league has played at least their 15 of their 30 games in the schedule. Even Orlando has a victory tonight, but Chicago now keeps putting that pressure on Milwaukee at the top of the table, showing that they are a team to be reckoned with.
Well, I think you're on. I think what you see is you see a lot of teams now that are just very close, and kind of the draft and the expansion draft created a little bit of that diversity, and I think it's going to be a fight all the way to the end for the top 4 or 5 spots.
And that expansion allowed some new players to come into the league. One of them with us now, Ian Bennett. Ian, with a pair of goals tonight. Congratulations. How do you feel?
Thank you. I feel good. For the game, I felt really good, and I just wanted to work hard, and fortunately I got lucky and scored 2 goals, so it's all good.
Well, you're kind of new to this indoor game, but we talked earlier in the game that you're kind of a quick study. How have you picked it up? How have you felt? It's very different from what you're used to, I guess.
It's very different. I'm just trying to pick it up every day, learn from the veterans, and I'm picking up pretty good, so I'm just happy with my success so far.
Well, we're watching a couple of your goals here, Ian, and the one thing that I've noticed about you thus far is you find yourself in good positions. You find yourself in the penalty box, and I'm sure that Coach Morris has talked to you about that, about crashing the goal, and you seem to be doing a good job with that.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Steve, our coach, he's like, hey, when in doubt, just get to the box, crash, and go hard, and good things will happen if you work hard in the box. So that's what I try to do every game.
Well, Ian, congratulations on the win. Thanks for taking the time to be with us tonight. Good luck rest of the way.
Thank you very much. Hey, Ma.
Ian Bennett, got to get the plug in for Mom there. Well, we'll take a look at the final stats of this one as the Chicago Storm hold off the Philadelphia Kixx. They get 7 goals to 4. They outshoot the Kixx 37-19, so the fourth quarter was big for Chicago, even though Philadelphia made it a close one.
Well, that's true. They got 12 more shots. I think that shows in the possession that we had that we just talked about from the beginning. So a good game, a complete game by Chicago. Philadelphia, great job. They show their spirit battling all the way through to the end.
Once again, our final score, the Chicago Storm 14, the Philadelphia Kixx 8. We hope you've enjoyed our live coverage of the Major Indoor Soccer League Game of the Week. Join us 1 week from tonight as these same Kixx take on the resurgent Orlando Sharks at 8 Eastern. So for Brian Lofton and our entire crew, this is Ken Tomash. Thanking you for watching. This has been a production of the Major Indoor Soccer League. Stay warm, everybody. Good night from Chicago.